Hello my fireflies and welcome back to the TheCyanFirefly. It's me, Lyiat, and today I'm going to bring you a little footage of Warlock, Master of the Arcane. Yes, this is a very interesting hex-based turn-based strategy game. It's pretty fun, to be honest. I've been looking at it a lot lately because there aren't a whole lot of hex-based games that I like, and this is also set in the magical land of Ardia. Ardia being the same place that the Majesty series and the Magicka series are set in. So it's kinda got this funny little charming character all to itself, but when you really think about it, what is the land of Ardia? It's really just a generic fantasy system all its own, but enough about that. I actually kind of want to look at what's good about this game, because the setting, really not all that important. Alright, so this is actually the game startup screen right here. You can actually set a bunch of different things. You can set the difficulty, you can set the victory conditions. The victory conditions for each map are actually, of course, defeat everybody else, defeat an avatar. The avatar system is pretty interesting. Once you gain maximum favor with one of the gods in the game, the diametrically opposed god on the other side of the table will send its avatar to destroy you because it becomes very upset. You can also cast the Unity spell, which once you gain all the spells in the game, you gain the option to learn Unity, which is the ultimate spell. You cast it and it basically brings everybody to heal. You can also capture 50% of the holy grounds, which is a victory condition I don't really like, so I normally turn that off. So the next window, you actually have to define the world that you fight in, which can be of various different sizes. Huge worlds are always fun to play in, but they always take a long time to defeat. You can also set the different kind of lands that you'll be fighting on, so you could be fighting on one massive continent, you could be fighting on several different continents, a bunch of tiny islands. That's really a water-based and boat kind of map. And the Great Land, which combines various different terrain features. You can have up to 8 enemy Great Mages, depending on the size of the world, and you can also have additional worlds, which are kind of like alternative planes. Those are pretty interesting. Hopefully I'll be able to show you one in the following playthrough, because it's actually very hard to get onto those. You also have the choice between a cylindrical world and a flat world. In the cylindrical worlds, you can go all the way across the planet from left to right, but not up to down. On a flat one, the world actually has edges, so you cannot go all the way around the world. Now, the last thing you get to do is you get to select a character. Now, there are various... Whoops, sorry about that. I clicked the wrong button. Anyway, you are actually capable of selecting the Great Mage you want to play. The Great Mages are actually the beings vying for control of Ardia. They want to be the Great Ruler, as it were. So you can select from any of the mages in this list. There are actually quite a bit of them, and it all changes the starting race of your character and the various different perks that you have access to when you start the match. Now, perks are something that you actually cannot gain access to in-game, whereas spells you can research and actually learn during the progress of the game. So perks are incredibly useful, where spells, they can give you an early game advantage, so it all kind of depends on what you want there. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can actually customize any of these characters to get these specific buffs and things that you want, as opposed to just going along with a specific character. So say I want to play this dragon dude. This dragon dude actually looks pretty cool, but I don't like specific things about him. I think he has too many spells and not enough perks. I also don't like the fact that he starts off with monsters. I'd rather start off with undead. Okay? Well, I can undo all these perks. Ooh, there goes everything. And now I can basically custom build them from the ground up. So, say instead I want good magic production, I want good food production, and I don't know, I want a mana vault. So now I start off with 100 more mana, I produce more food every turn, and I produce more magic every turn. This is intrinsic stuff that... I'm sorry, I sneezed there. Gonna have to edit that out. This is intrinsic stuff that actually cannot change, and it gives you a hefty advantage over those who actually do not have that kind of stuff. You can also set your faction color, you know, cyan for the win. Alright, here we go. And then you can start your game, which will randomly generate a whole new planet for you. So we'll just hop right in here, loading screen, loading screen, loading screen, la-di-da-di-da. Alright, and here we go. We are actually in the game. It's generated a whole new world for us that we're free to explore at our leisure. And really, that's it. This is the very start of the game. Now, movement is pretty easy. You select the particular troop you want to move, you select which hex you want to send them into, and then click. That's all there is to it. They march out there, and they reveal further parts of the map for you. You always start off with a ranged troop and a melee troop, who are... Ooh. Let's get out of there. Close city view. And... let's go over here, take a look at what's up here. Alright, here's a lost caravan. Now, a lost caravan is actually something you can loot to gain additional monies, but as our troops are out of movement points down here, as you can see, they actually can't capture it this round. Same with our skeletal archers, they can't advance any further. Now, the land types that they cross over can actually affect their movement. You can't obviously pass over hills as easily as you can pass over barren plains. Now, there is some resource management you have to do here. You have 3 different resources. You have gold, you have food, and you have mana. Mana can be used to upkeep certain units. In fact, the undead armies actually have to deal with it a lot, because a lot of their units take actual magic to upkeep their units rather than food, because, hey, when's the last time you heard of a skeleton having to eat? The final resource is research points. Now, the only thing that does is it helps you research spells more quickly. Now, currently, my amount of research points is actually rather low. So it actually takes quite a few turns for me to learn any spells. But I'll be able to cast them relatively quickly at the moment because I have a lot of starting mana. So here's our food, here's our gold. A couple of other interesting things to keep in mind. Now, if you have an excess of food, it gets converted into gold. As you can see, I'm actually getting 3 additional coins per round due to gold upkeep. With research, as long as you're not researching any spells, all of that actually gets turned into mana, which is pretty cool. It's nice to see that they allowed a system that allows you to turn extra resources you don't need into further things. So let's just head out here a little bit. Now, it is kind of a... Hold on. Now, it is kind of a Civ type game, you could say. You do have to manage all your little civilizations. You don't have to really deal with happiness or anything like that. All you really have to do is maintain your resources and make sure everything's going well. Now, what do I want to do here? Well, a good thing might be to increase our mana production, because mana is actually very important for an undead army. Any city you build with the undead will automatically get a mana trap, which will grant you additional mana production. So it's pretty good that they're semi-sustainable that way. Alright, so we're going to summon more skeletons and more skeleton archers. The unit production is pretty simple. All you have to do is click on the one you want. It automatically spends the gold for you, and they take several different turns to build. Alright. And turn. Moving right along. And that's it. The turn is over. There isn't a whole lot going on this screen, so we actually didn't see any other enemy units moving. Alright, so let's hop over here. There is a rogue unit of goblin spearmen over here. We're probably going to want to kill them. Oh, there's also a bunch of monster-eating spiders. How wonderful. Good thing that they actually do poison damage, and as my units are undead, they are relatively immune to poison. As skeletons, they are also highly resistant to missiles, which is pretty cool. Alright, so let's shoot our arrows over here, do a bunch of damage to these goblins, send in our skeleton soldiers. So they have looted us an actual spell, which is pretty cool. Though this spell actually is worthless to me at the moment, because I can't heal undead with it. Alright, and here's our skeletons. They're going to walk in and attack the enemy goblins. It's actually always a wise idea to set up your ranged attacks before sending in your melee soldiers, because the weaker an enemy unit becomes, the less damage they can do to your soldiers. So, always a good idea to keep that in mind. Alright, so end turn. All the enemy units get a turn to move. There is a difference between neutrals and monsters. These are of the monster faction, these are of the neutral faction. So they actually move at different times and they have different goals. You might actually see monsters fighting neutrals. So here we are. We have a new unit of skeletal warriors, so we're going to send them up to back up these particular soldiers. Let's shoot at these guys again. They're dead, which nets our skeletal archers more experience. They can level up. Once they level up, they gain additional perks, which you can select, which is pretty good. You actually are encouraged to keep your soldiers alive so that they will rank up and get you additional stuff. And that's generally the basics of the game. I can... maybe? No, there's nothing I can cast that spell on. Alright, so we're going to hop out of here, and I'm actually going to show you a game in progress. So let's go to that. Okay, and we're back. Now, here's what the world starts to look like as you explore more of it, and you end up running into more of the great mages. It can actually take a little while to get here. I didn't get here for about, I believe, 50 turns it's taken me. I'm actually already at war with an enemy faction. They've been causing me a lot of trouble by swapping in and out of friendship with me. So they've kind of really gotten on my nerves at this point, so I just decided to destroy them. This is their central keep right here. If I take this over, it actually completely ends them. They no longer are a faction in the game, So it doesn't matter if you wipe out their entire kingdom, all you have to do is wipe out their capital, which slays their great mage, so you no longer have to deal with them. So we've actually got some chaos going on right over here. There is a bunch of monsters and neutrals that have been causing me a whole bunch of trouble. I'm going to retreat this unit back here and set them to guard this city, because as it turns out, monsters and neutrals can take over your cities, which is kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. Now, another feature that you didn't get to see before is the lords. Now, you are actually capable of hiring very powerful units from time to time known as lords. They are uniquely named, and they are incredibly powerful. Currently, I have a Rat Prince, who has numerous different abilities, some of which I gave him, some of which he came with by default. He also has some unique upgrades that other character types do not get. And all in all, he just causes a bunch of trouble for enemy units. What else do we have here? I believe I have a wizard hiding somewhere. Yes, here he is. This guy does a buttload of damage, and he's a ranged unit, so he's pretty fun to use. Let's see. Let's actually select him. Bring him right over here. And we will get more siege power right on this capital. Blast it. There we go. That actually did quite a bit of damage. I'm really liking this guy. I'm glad I picked him up. I actually didn't have to hire this particular one. He came as loot from a particular enemy, particular caravan. I forget which one it was. I believe it was up here. I do not like the look of this guy advancing so many troops onto my land, but there's not much we can do about it. Yes, he is actually considered allied with us. I'm just hoping he doesn't betray us anytime soon. Okay, so we lost that unit. That might not have been so wise. Okay, so this unit is actually capable of being upgraded. He hasn't leveled up. He can be upgraded. There are certain perks that you can buy after you gain certain buildings. I've created a dwarven smithy, so I have access to dwarven steel. This gives my unit a significant power bonus, which allows them to do more damage when they run into combat. So, let's look here. Now, they aren't going to do a whole lot of damage, but they are completely immune to the damage that is done by a capital of the undead, because all of its damage is death-related. So, these units are completely safe in attacking the capital. I don't have to worry about them. Now, you can give your soldiers additional actions. Some have unique attacks. Some are just capable of defending and resting. Defending puts them in a defensive position. It increases their armor for the entire turn. And resting, of course, gives them more health. Let's bring up more soldiers to help with this siege, because I really want this capital. I'm sick of dealing with this guy. That is actually a fort. Forts are pretty interesting. They can be a big pain in the butt to deal with. Oh, this guy's capable of being leveled up. Let's give him City Fighter, because that's really going to help here. City Fighter actually gives them a bonus to damaging buildings and cities, of course. Alright, so diplomacy system. Keep in mind, this is all before I've actually even fully taken my turn. There is so much you can do in any given single turn. So, I've received an offer. King Lich V wants to make peace with me. Well, screw him. I want to blast him off the map. Okay, so we've got units pending. Let's launch another attack against these coyotes, because they've been giving me a lot of trouble lately. Let's rest this unit to give them more health. And let's get these guys away from those archers, because they've been hurting them quite a bit. The unit hiding here is actually a bunch of human settlers. I want to make a colony up here, but these neutral units have been making it very hard for me to do so. So I'm currently trying to exterminate this infestation of bandits, really. Alright, let's get my Rat Lord healed up a little bit, because he has very little to worry about from here. Even if all these units were to attack him at once, he'd probably just kill them all, because he is very powerful. I also have a pending mission. Now, missions are something that you would get from time to time. My current mission is that I have to found a city within 14 turns, which I should be able to do with these peasant settlers, assuming I can clear this out reasonably quickly. Here's a Mystic Portal. I'll be able to show you that in a few rounds, I believe. I'll just make some rogues and send them in through there. They'll probably get killed, but whatever. Alright, so here we go. That's a turn relatively ended. I can cast a spell of some sort. Let's do that. What can we do? Okay, it'll take me 2 turns to cast this, but it'll be worth it. So I'm going to start queuing that up. Next turn I will be able to throw it down. And here we go. Oh, my poor mage. He's probably a little irritated right now. Why would you do that? Why would you send those bats in to attack me when there's really very little that they can do whatsoever? My mage is taking kind of a pounding there. Why are you putting those units all over my city? I'm getting a little suspicious of you, buddy. Maybe he's moving in on the island that I am, but I'm still a little worried that he has basically an army sitting on top of my city. Now, as you can assume, all your individual cities can actually shoot. They can be given a shoot command to defend themselves. I need to pull this mage out of here because he's actually taking quite a bit of damage. He could very well die if I don't pull him out. Now, that spell is done. I'm going to summon some nice little wolves for the enemy team to deal with. They did not go where I wanted them to go for some reason. Oh well. So let's bring them into here and continue the lovely siege of the enemy base. I can upgrade them if I so choose, give them more... interesting. Yeah, give them more unit power, which I very well may do. That actually makes them stronger than my skeletons, which is pretty cool. They will take a lot of damage, though. As a beast, they have a defense bonus in forests, and they get a bonus to attacking well in forests. But unfortunately, there's no forest around here. They also take additional damage from missiles, which is kind of what castle damage is based off of. So they'll actually be taking a lot of damage here. I'm going to have to watch them kind of closely. They also have a wolf howl, so any enemy units nearby will take a lot... it'll be harder for them to hurt the wolves. So let's see if we can weaken this castle a little bit before we actually send the wolves themselves in to deal with it. So, do additional damage. I can really see why he wanted to get rid of my mage, though. My mage was doing a bunch of damage to that particular capital. He is a very hefty unit, so I do not blame him in the least for wanting to get rid of that. Alright, so we can destroy these annoying bat forts, which are basically bunkers that they can use to defend their keep with. Bat forts also give you the ability to summon bats as an individual unit, so not only are they forts that you can defend your keeps with, they are actually defensive buildings of their own right. Let's repair these skeletons a little bit. Send in our rat prince to kill these annoying spiders. and hopefully start clearing this area out a little bit more. There are a lot of enemies here. But yeah, I'm hoping you're getting a general impression of this game. It actually is quite a bit of fun. I've been having a blast playing it. Alright, woo, another mystic portal with some earth elementals. It would not be a good idea to send these troops against those earth elementals by themselves, so I'm going to pull back a little bit. And hopefully get something a little bit more heavy hitting up there. Wow, I did not expect to run into opposition such as that right there. Jeez. Alright, so what can I summon here? What would be a good idea? Well, getting more units closer would be a good idea. So summoning a graveyard right here. Not something I could complain about. We still have an idle unit right here. Let's pit them against these archers right here, because we should be able to do a little bit more damage to them than they can do to us, because we are skeletons. And skeletons have high resistance to archery weapons. And if we get a critical hit, yeah, we're just going to absolutely destroy them. And we're going to send our peasant settlers up here. Now, it's generally a really bad idea to send settlers off on their own, because they can run into crap like this. They're probably going to die this turn unless the Sea Serpent has something else it's currently dealing with. That was not a wise idea on my part. Whoops. Let's see. And we're going to have to wait next turn for healing, because we're going to want to heal up. We're going to want to heal up our Black Mage a little bit if we get the chance. Oh, seems like all my allies are moving in on my home base. I don't know if I like that all that much. In fact, I know I don't like that all that much. Now they're all attacking my poor ghost wolves, which are dead. Oh well, they lasted around, they gave us some extra damage. Telling you what, dude, if you turn traitor, I'm going to be pissed. What are you doing? Yep, there goes my poor peasant settlers. Oh well. They weren't hugely important to my plans. Even if I do lose this mission, there isn't a whole lot of drawback for doing so. It's not like a god mission. You can actually do missions for various deities to gain favor with them, which nets you negative favor with the opposing god. Let me actually show you that particular menu. It's under diplomatic relations. Now, here is all the particular deities. I actually pissed off Grumgog a little bit because I refused to do a particular mission for him earlier. So I'm a little bit more in favor with Crom, but really that's all there is to it. Doing particular missions for certain gods gives you additional favor and disfavor with certain gods, which can net you unique spells that you wouldn't normally have access to. I'm actually allied with both these guys, so there's not much I have to worry about from them. Alright, let's heal up our Black Mage. Bring him down here. And blow up this annoying fort. We don't have to deal with that anymore. Bring in our skeletal soldiers, who are going to help destroy that next round. And continue sieging the fort. Siege the castle, my lord. Might actually be a better idea to move them over there. Oh yeah, who did I level up? Oh, I leveled up him and I didn't even bother actually doing anything with it. Let's give him Scroll of Necromancy so he does more death damage. It doesn't help me too much right here, but it will help me elsewhere. Order a new building to be constructed. Let's get us a... what do we want? What do we want? New mana trap. Because having as much mana as possible is really good for this particular faction, I should say. I do have access to humans, as you saw earlier, but I am really focusing on necromantic troops, as it were. Let's see, I have a bunch of rogues. Okay, now I can show you the other side of a mystic portal. So let's send them straight into here. Now, these guys are going to die. It's just a fact of life. They cannot survive over here because there are some really powerful units. You actually need some really heavy-hitting soldiers to send through a mystic portal, and you need to have a lot of supplies. You need to make sure that you can do a lot for them. In a mystic portal, you can find dragon eggs, and all sorts of other very powerful, unique terrain features that can give you some major buffs in a battle. So if you can actually take control of an area inside there, it's highly recommended that you do so, because you can gain some stuff that other factions will probably not have any access to. My rat's actually taken some damage, so I'm going to pull him back. And I'm going to heal up that archer unit so they can support him later on. Let's continue firing on this heap, because we want to take it down as quickly as possible. Here we go. Heal this up again. I have more idle units. Yes, attack. Continue attacking the capital. I'm probably going to go on until I actually destroy this thing, which hopefully won't take too long. What can I do here? Oh, I can now summon warriors. Awesome. Let's summon some warriors. Human warriors. What is the difference between them and my skeletons? Oh. Yes, it actually gives you all these little helpful reminders in the corner of what you have what you are capable of doing. Well, it looks like humans are a little bit more basic than skeletons. They are just as no, they are actually a little bit cheaper. So that's the real benefit to them. Here we are. Yeah, all of my allies are moving a little bit in on me. I'm kind of concerned about that. The good thing is they are all human-based, so I don't really have to worry about them being immune to my capital. All the same, I'm going to summon a couple of units back here and give them some boat support. Because I'm not liking the look of this. I'm not liking the look of this one bit. Alright, end the turn. They might just be trying to expand. There might not be a whole lot left up here for them to deal with, really. Which I can't really blame them too much for. Yeah, I don't know why he keeps on trying to attack my skeletons right there. There's not much they can do about them. Can I skip past this? I don't remember if I can. Exit out of this window, please. Well, that's kind of annoying. There's no way to exit out of this window. Oh. Yep, there goes my poor rogues. They're taking a bunch of damage all of a sudden. Thank you. That was kind of annoying. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's give the marksman to do even more damage to this poor capital. Here we go. Man, I really want this place. I really want to get rid of this annoying as heck skeleton guy. Alright, so... there's no place I can put him that isn't in range of both of these, and he can actually take damage from both, which is kind of irritating. So let's fire a magical bolt at this city, do even more damage to it, bring its health down even further. Send in my skeletons to attack it. Because, hey, why not? And attack this fort. is we can start really surrounding this entire place if we do so. I can get an air dockyard. Do I want an air dockyard? Actually sounds kind of like fun, but I want to build up this place a little bit more. Let's see, do they have a farm? They do not have a farm, so let's give them a farm. Enemy at the gates. Where? Ooh, that's a rather unpleasant thing to see right outside of my fortress. Is there anything I can get over there relatively quickly? Doesn't look like it. Huh. Alright, let's set them to defend. Nothing I can do about these wolves at the moment because his entire army is in the way. Why do you have an entire army right there? I don't understand. Alright, so we retreated him. We can heal him now. Our ally has a bunch of minotaurs right there for some reason. Alright, moving right along, moving right along. Nothing they can really do. And these guys just took a whole buttload of damage, but we're going to keep on exploring over here to see if there's anything. Oh my! Yes, we found some very interesting things, and we blew up as a result. Giant fire elemental. There's some old crypts right here. There's a giant golden dragon with some iron resources. So yeah, as you can see, it's a very valuable place to start taking over. But you have to deal with a lot in the process of doing so. Heal them up. Alright, end the turn. Wonder if anything interesting will happen that I'll have to suddenly deal with. I'm hoping that there isn't a giant attack massing on everything. That would kind of be unfortunate. It would probably just kill me at this point, because there's very little I could do to repel an invasion of such magnitude. Man, my mage shows up and they really focus everything on the planet on him. Poor guy. Let's skip past this, please. Thank you. Part of the damage done by the rat mage is poison, so he's a little less effective against skeletons than he could be. Build a craftsman district. Okay, I can do that. No problem. Let's build that right here. Nets us more money, so no problem with that. Enemy at the gates, where are you? Just more skeletal warriors down here. Which do not take all that much damage from my attacks, but oh well. Alright, let's see. Wow, these veterans actually are pretty hefty dudes. There's not a whole lot we can deal with them. That's a pain in the butt to deal with. Alright, I'm going to set him to defend because it actually makes him a lot harder to deal with. So he cannot be killed so easily. I really want to know what's in there. I really want to get that. So I don't care what it takes. I'm actually going to move in on there and attack it to get the stuff inside, because it could be something extremely valuable. Let's pull him back again, because boy, he likes taking damage. Let's heal him up. We're expending a lot of mana really quickly, faster than we can replenish it actually. That's not all that good. Alright, let's attack these. Now, he's actually got a unit on top of his capital now, so it's a little harder to damage the capital itself, because I also have to deal with the unit inside of it. Same with his bat fort right here. That said, I've got City Fighter, so I should be a little better off than he is here. Hope for a critical, hope for a critical. No critical, but I did do damage to the fort. Keep on attacking the capital. Yes, he can actually do damage to my soldiers now because he's got a unit in there capable of doing damage that isn't death-related. I'm going to pull these guys away from here because they're really not that needed up here anymore. Resources complete. Construction complete. I can actually start summoning soldiers right here. And we're going to want to, considering there is a giant ogre right there. Ooh. Will you help me? Are you going to help me? That would be very nice if you helped me. But you're not going to help me. Well, maybe you'll be forced to very soon. Who knows? Because that ogre's probably going to attack my base, and considering your soldiers are in it, they're going to have to defend regardless. But yeah, this guy is actually in a whole lot of pain right now, so you really see where this is gonna go. That's kind of all the time I have for right now. This game is pretty fun. I can see how it wouldn't be for anyone, everyone, because it actually takes quite a bit of patience to play, because everything can be pretty slow. You don't really deal with things in a fast-paced manner because of just the very nature of the style of game. It kind of plods along as you gather resources, build units. Everything kind of takes time. But really, that's all the time I have for this evening. This has been Lyiat with the TheCyanFirefly, showing you guys Warlock, Master of the Arcane. I'll catch you all next time.